Hello, everyone. I'm Estela Casas, creative brand strategist for the Viva Auto Group family of dealerships. Thanks for listening to the VivaStyle Podcast, where we have interesting conversations about the automotive industry that provides hundreds of jobs in the borderland. Let's talk VivaStyle. Robert, it's great to have you here in studio, our VivaStyle Podcast.
This is amazing. What a great little setup you've got here. I was so glad to be asked, by the way.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. This is an opportunity to not just talk about the automotive industry, but talk about key members of our community, and you are one of them.
If you say so.
No, of course, always,
if you say so.
Always. So Robert and I worked together many years ago at D.E.A, and it was a lot of fun. When you walked in, give me a little bit about your background. You worked with the El Paso Times before you went into TV.
I did. It's funny. I spent like a good 10 years working in print, and then I made the transition to television here in El Paso. So I had worked for the Associated Press in Seattle as a print reporter, and then I had done internships in print as well. Then I went to the El Paso Times, and I was reporting there, then went to, I became like a manager there. I was a features editor, and that did not, management and me did not mix,
Yeah,
so
I get it.
Yeah, so then the opportunity to move to television came up when I was here in El Paso. Kevin Lovell over at KVIA reached out, and so did Eric Hughesby, and I said, why not? Let's give it a shot. And I'm so glad I did. I
remember pulling you aside one day and say, Robert, you're just so very talented because, not everybody has the skills that you do. You're a great writer. You're a musician. You are an El Pasoan. You are so many things to so many different people. So you were quite an asset on KVIA as well. And then the opportunity came up to move to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And how was that?
That was great. Also a situation, I've got a weird streak in my career where I've never applied to any of the jobs I've had. It's weird. So that's not to say that I haven't applied to jobs that I didn't get, but any of the jobs that I've had, people came to me, and it's strange. I was approached by KABC in LA. They saw me somehow. I think they have like people that look at tapes, and offered a job out there. And that was just a great experience, an amazing opportunity to work in the number 2 market, and at a time when, big TV was still being made. So much has changed.
The world has changed.
The business. Yeah. So back then it was still, big satellite trucks, live trucks, big events. And so I'm really glad I got to spend about 10 years doing that.
And then you came home.
Then I came home.
Now you've been with KFOX for how long?
Almost 6 years. Yeah, I came home at the end of 2015. So like 2016-ish. So going on 6 years now. Been back at KFOX, and that's been incredible. That was another opportunity where they came to me. They said, listen, there's an opportunity to anchor here. And I had not anchored full time. I had only reported, and I was filling in as an anchor. So I thought, hey, this is an amazing opportunity. And of course, my family's here. Home is here. My niece and nephew are here, and they're, beautiful young kids that I love being around. So that was just a perfect situation.
So tell me, what are you doing now? You're doing Built in the Borderland. You also anchor the newscasts on KFOX. Right. But what is your baby? What is your passion? First of all, before you tell me what your passion is, I see the passion in your eyes when I watch you anchor. I see that excitement. I see that passion, and I think with all the busyness in the world and the transition, how TV has made a transition and how it's really changed.
Yeah.
I still see that in you. What motivates you? Why do you have that little sparkle in your eye?
Well, first of all, that's incredibly flattering that you would say that, because listen, you were the best. So for you to say that in terms of anchoring, huge compliment. So thank you. I think if you're to look to what is it that moves me, since I've been a kid, it's been storytelling. So in one form or another, right? So whether it's writing, video, editing. I love editing. I love shooting video, and also love what anchoring can do. So yes, at 5 and 9, Monday through Friday, I'm anchoring an hour-long newscast with Erica Castillo and Sandra and our hardworking reporters and crew members. But yes, the idea is to communicate, to connect with people, and that's always been something that's just always been just like the most important I suppose,
skill.
yeah.
But you know what?
skill,
It's not
yeah,
a skill that you can develop. You either have it or you don't. You have it. You have it because not everybody can communicate through the camera. You know, how do you reach those people? You have that natural ability, that it factor to do that. So it's great.
You think it's like singing? Because
it's like singing.
Yeah, because singing, it's funny. You can teach technique, but you can't really be a singer if you don't have it.
Exactly.
Right. So you think the same thing exists?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're also a musician. Does that bring maybe a different facet to your anchoring, to your reporting, to the person you are on camera and in person?
I mean, I think that when I edit, when I put stories together, and probably when I anchor, I am conscious of rhythm, of beats. And even if I'm not talking about music being underneath something, I'm talking about pacing. And something I learned that I thought was incredibly important for me early on in college was I took poetry classes. Mm-hmm. So poetry was incredibly influential in how I structure my stories. And yeah, I think music plays a role, certainly in when I edit my pieces. And I'm not talking about putting music in my pieces. I'm just talking about the general sense of pacing and tempo. And I think that does exist in how you anchor and how you put stories together narratively. Yeah.
A lot of people say, "Oh, you just come on TV and you just put your makeup on and because men wear makeup too."
Me too. Yes.
And a lot of gel and all that stuff. So I can see.
More and more, I wear more and more makeup the older I get. Yes, this is true.
But you just don't sit down and read. I mean, it really takes talent and skill, and there's so many things going on around you that it really takes a special person, and you are one of those.
Do you miss it? Do you miss anchoring?
Do I miss anchoring?
Yeah. I mean, I know you're doing amazing things now, but do you miss the sitting in front of the camera to give the day's news?
I guess I do miss it a little bit, but I don't miss the hours. I don't miss some of the. I miss some of the people. I miss some of that connection. But it's like you. You got to move on to other things, bigger and better things for your life, and to improve your life. You know, am I ever going to go back to TV? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
The hours are tough, though, right?
The hours are tough.
It's. There's not an ideal schedule in television news.
But there isn't an ideal schedule in anything you do anymore. Anyway,
I guess that's true too.
With COVID, you do Zoom meetings or you work 3 days a week, and life really has changed. Have you seen a change in the way you anchor, the way you report after COVID? Well, we're still in the middle, maybe not in the thick of things, but COVID changed everyone's lives. How did it change yours?
Well, I can tell you that we were sent home. We all got to, not all of us, but a good portion of the workforce during the height of the pandemic were sent home, and I was anchoring from home, as a lot of people were. But I ended up anchoring at home for almost 10 months.
Wow. You had a great setup too.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. But that was a really interesting, personal experiment in a lot of ways, because I remember, in the early days there, so if, I had a work situation, much like this, right? Microphone, camera at home. But back then, during the lockdown, there would be days where I wouldn't, because I live alone, so I wouldn't talk out loud until the newscast starts.
It's like, oh my God. La, la, la,
right. Right. Because I've been alone all day, and then the whole day goes by and 5 o'clock hits, and it was weird. It was weird to do that and to think that I'd be anchoring a nightly newscast from home. Just, you could not wrap your head around that a few years ago. I mean, so that was a weird situation. And I mean, yeah, I think it definitely illustrated how important it is to be together, and how much better the product is when we're together.
Okay, would you wear jeans? Would you wear pants? Would you wear your Would you anchor in your underwear or your shorts? And if nobody was going to be there, did it matter?
Well, never underwear, but.
Well, come on, be honest.
Oh, yeah. I'd at least make the effort to get dressed.
From the waist up.
Yeah. Well, no, I think I'd wear shorts a lot. I mean, certainly in the summer. Listen, my AC isn't that great at my house, so it's much better in the studio. So yeah, there'd be days when I'd definitely be wearing shorts and just business on top.
Tell me about Built in the Borderland. It's a special segment that you do, and again, I see the passion, and you put a lot of effort into it. A lot of the editing, and there's music, and there's conversation. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's been a really rewarding experience to put this show together. So it starts as a segment on the newscast. Your typical 2.5 minutes or so. And then we decided, my boss, Shauna, and Matt at KFox, we talked and said, let's make this a half-hour show. So at first they were like, are you crazy? You sure you want to do this?
It's tough to fill 30 minutes.
Yeah, especially because I do everything on my own typically, So, but it's been really hard work, but to be able to tell longer stories, to be able to have conversations like this one, right, where we're actually just getting to talk and not have to, subscribe to that 26-second soundbite has been huge. And then winning an Emmy for it, a little plug for myself there, winning an Emmy was also validation. It was great. I love it because, I spent a lot of hours putting those weekly shows together. And in fact, I just got back. I was in Socorro earlier today shooting and coming here now. And I love it. But I love to shoot. I love photography. I love editing. I'm also like a gearhead. I love cameras. And I love that you have these beautiful Shure microphones. These are the real deal, folks. Okay. This is like what real studios use. So I love all this stuff. So it just works perfectly. It intertwines.
And we're going to run some of your segments or little bits and pieces of your segments and a link so you all can join us. And if you like it, which you will, I promise that you will, don't forget to share it on the Viva Auto Group Facebook page. So we're going to have fun. And you can also see these segments on YouTube and, the different platforms. And of course, our podcast, the VivaStyle Podcast.
We begin today with an in-depth look at the creative process. Two talented painters recently came together for a collaboration. Mauricio Mora is based here in El Paso. Ricardo Garcia is based in Los Angeles. They each have their own unique styles. Mora is known for his technically precise and beautifully executed creations. Garcia has excelled in figurative art, but loves to delve deep into abstract interpretations. And last week, they allowed me to document their creative process.
What's next for Robert?
Well, I am working on a documentary that's kind of unrelated to TV news, like a different, it's like a solo project of a documentary, but that's barely getting off the ground, but that's something I'm really excited about. Can't say much about it right now, but listen, it's going to be comedic, so it's going to examine some comedy, and I love to laugh. I love comedy, especially because of what we do. I think that
we need to laugh.
Yes. The news business can sometimes, listen. There's been a lot more attention paid to how PTSD can also affect not just first responders and officers, but also reporters who are seeing things firsthand. And so I'm really glad that that's happening. But that's a long way of me saying that I'm also someone who seeks out comedic elements in life. So that's something
I've seen your clips. I've seen your clips, and they are pretty funny.
I love
use
to
your niece and nephew for these, so those are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I listen. Being silly is I love doing silliness, and my niece and nephew are hilarious, I think, and a lot of people like seeing them. So
we can use some of those clips as well too.
Yeah, they're cute kids. Man.
Personally, what's next for you?
Personally, well, I don't know. I don't have I don't have long-term plans necessarily. Everything's going great right now. Knock on wood.
You want to go to New York? I mean, a lot of people say, well, why don't you leave El Paso for bigger and better things? El Paso's great, though.
Yeah, no, I did it. I've lived in 8 cities or something, and then I spent a decade in LA. So I really feel like I know what's out there. And do I miss the hustle and bustle of a big city? Yeah, of course I do. Do I miss the connection to larger like creative communities? Probably, but I will say that El Paso has come a long way in so many ways. When I came back and in the years that I've been back since, there is just incredible communities of creatives here. In fact, like I said, I just got back from Socorro talking to a chef there at a restaurant that's doing great stuff. I mean, not just your typical stuff, but inventive, new things. And I've seen that in the film community. I've seen that in the music community, to be sure. So I love that about El Paso, that it's, I feel like, incredibly vibrant right now.
Okay, so the answer is probably no.
Probably no, but never say never.
Never say never no. You never know where different people will take you, different careers will take you. So
yeah, and listen, I'm always open to new experiences, but I am incredibly happy. And listen, with family, family's huge, and the older you get, it's having those connections with your family and enjoying them becomes more important. I think when I was younger, it was less important, of course, as it should be for most people. Go out and do your thing, but I'm loving things right now.
What do people not know about Robert?
Ooh,
that you'd like to share? I mean, we don't want to know everything, right? So he does have a sense of humor, and I wasn't going to mention this, but I think it's a little bit of knowledge that I have from Robert since we worked together. But you know what I'm going to say, Robert.
No, I don't.
I remember that. So I had a son 5 years after I had a tubal ligation, and I got pregnant, and I announced it during. Yeah, now you remember. I announced it during the meeting. I said, guys, you all have been probably noticing that I haven't been feeling very well. It's because I'm pregnant. And then Robert said,
I don't want to repeat it.
You all can guess what he said. But actually, I am going to say it. I am going to say it out loud. I am going to say it out loud.
Because I said it in a meeting.
Because you said it in a meeting, but, this is another platform. But you said, what? You're still having sex?
I was just being a jerk. I'm sorry.
No, you weren't being a jerk. You were just being you. And that's not being a jerk. You were just being you as a curious reporter and probably a little sarcastic.
Yeah.
You find humor and everybody smiled and laughed.
Well, you're very gracious. Other people might not have been as gracious as you. But yes, it was a meeting. I love to get laughs. Okay.
And you got one.
And I got one. and it was a joke. But and this ties into your question. What people may not know is that I've tried doing stand-up comedy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See, so I
learned something new about Robert.
I've gone on stage on open mics in LA. I was doing that. And I actually, I'm such a fan of the art form of stand-up comedy that it also made me realize, yeah, that's not what you should be doing.
Keep the day job. Keep the day job. Okay, tell us the worst joke you've ever told.
Oh God, they were not good. I don't know that I can say any.
They're
well, I mean, they were racy. You know what I mean? Okay, let me think. Let me try to think of a bit. Yeah, my funniest joke is definitely not family friendly, so I won't say that.
We already talked about sex.
Yeah, but there's a twist on it. But listen, the jokes were not that good. Did they get a few chuckles? Sure. Yes. But being around real comedians and being around people who are like whip sharp, funny, makes you understand that that's a different skill set, right? I mean, I think you can develop it probably, but.
And you will be developing it because you're going to do that 30-minute documentary that's a little comedic. So we look forward to seeing that.
But I'll be behind the scenes. All I'm doing is shooting very funny people.
So you're a producer, a director, an actor, a musician, an anchor, a reporter. Gosh, so many things. Well, thank you for sharing a little bit of your life with us this afternoon. Anything you'd like to add? Something that we need to know and walk away with? Well,
this is the plugs portion here. So I'll ask if you would please join us on KFOX 14 at 5 and 9. My Built in the Borderland segment runs Sunday nights at 10:30. And I'm always open to ideas. I'm always looking for interesting, off-the-wall kinds of things that are happening in our community. Businesses, people, artists, musicians. I'm always looking to meet them and give people some exposure. So reach out to me via Twitter or Facebook at Robert KFOX 14 on Twitter. I'm on Facebook as well. So just, hit me up.
Okay. And also, I'd like to let everybody know that we're giving away gift cards. We want you to go to our page, Viva Auto Group, and like it and share it. So we'll be giving away those gift cards starting next week. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day, Robert, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Estela.
See you next time. We'd like to hear what you think about today's conversation. Go to the Viva Auto Group Facebook page and like us. If you're in the market for a new or pre-owned car or truck, we invite you to choose a Viva vehicle.